Alright, here's the question. We've got one mission left for B rank. Will we find the plot? Who knows? No, we got 2 more missions. Okay, 2 more missions. Will we find the plot? Who knows?
Mission briefing. Briefing will now commence. This mission is an urgent request from Sky Union. Immortals have invaded one of Sky Union's arsenal testing facilities to corrupt the AIs housed there. A proceeding squad is attempting to carry out this mission, but lacks the manpower to do so. Thus, the situation is still ongoing. Dispatch to the mission area. Rendezvous with the proceeding squad and eliminate the Immortals from the facility. Complete any necessary preparations as soon as possible, then stand by and await dispatch. Briefing over.
At least the plot isn't as lost as Atelier Ryza. Weirdly enough, Atelier Ryza's plot made a lot more sense. It was a full linear narrative with a beginning, a middle, and an end. It just didn't actually have like a functional villain beyond just bugs. So it was kind of boring. But this is very much like, hey, here's your villain, insane evil AIs. They're all apparently unique and distinct and interesting, but you're never going to ever see any of them. Reasons. I don't really know. You can watch enough Ryza for us to find it. It took a while, but like the build-up was there. The fascinating part with Atelier Ryza was like by the end of it, it was legitimately okay game. It wasn't like the plot wasn't anything that I'd write home about, and I've already forgotten actually very little of it just because the plot was super basic. But it was just kind of like, okay, this works. Whereas this game, I'm just constantly being like, what? Why? And that hasn't stopped yet. God, I need to play a good JRPG at some point. This is absolutely hitting the, like, anime quota that I needed.
Complete. You have arrived at the mission area. All entry points have been blocked to prevent the corruption from spreading. Scanning battlefield. Femtoparticle density is low. Radar will not be affected, displaying the coordinates of the target immortal. Proceed to the designated coordinates and destroy any corrupted AIs you encounter.
There's no one here.
How peculiar. Your target is not an immortal. This situation conflicts with the mission details. Comparing with Sky Union.
What?
Futile.
Comparison results show no mission is currently in progress.
What?
Status reset. Override. The mission has been deleted.
We will kill you now. Your role in this is over.
Farewell. Your performance ends here.
Attention. Warning. The treaty prohibits all hostilities between mercenaries, save those integral to completing missions. If combat actions are confirmed.
Then what?
Processing. The situation is hostile. You are authorized to act in self-defense and eliminate the target's threat.
2 versus 1 still isn't enough, eh? You're even more powerful than I thought. Or perhaps you're exactly what I expected.
Bloom, concentrate on the battle. I cannot win if my partner is crippled by hesitation. Especially once our foe begins to show its true power.
Perhaps you are the one who is hesitating.
My true power is fire!
Attention. Detecting a new response in the mission area. Another arsenal is inbound.
That's impossible. We arranged this perfectly. Not even Grief knows what's happening here.
Then who could it be?
Johnny! That's not Johnny. Oh, it's
I
Savior.
have arrived, and not a moment too late. Did you not think to set a place for me at this table?
How?
The Patriarch of House Valentine. This matter does not concern you.
Such unseemly anger. I suppose I am an unwelcome guest to this little soiree. Only at my pride's beckoning do I even deign to be here.
Oh, right.
Do not speak to me of pride. Not when you conduct yourself with the bloated ego of a pompous twit.
A cur like yourself has no right to say that to me.
Are you so desperate to become mankind's leader? You would shake the foundation of your house to achieve that end?
My house is of no concern to you.
Touchy subject, I see. Is this
Where?
really the justice your house expects you to uphold?
Where did
Has your
she go?
pride been usurped by arrogance?
You both seem rather perturbed by my presence. Just as well. My reasons for being here are strictly personal.
Personal?
Why, yes. The honor of one day defeating this mercenary in combat is mine and mine alone.
That's all.
That is reason enough for me. Tell me, why does Grief want the rookie dead?
Grief is not part of this. Gloom and I have taken matters into our own hands.
Your master has trained his hounds poorly. Perhaps he requires a collar himself.
How dare you? You'll pay dearly for insulting the professor.
Will I now? I think not. I'll send you hounds whimpering back to your master.
I saw an opening. Why can't I kill you? I'll take you down, even if I have to...
Stop, Regret. All this means is that the professor is right. Our mission remains unfinished. We should leave.
I understand. To think I could kill you was a miscalculation on my part. I'm sure Grief will be pleased with this outcome. Whatever your role is in this, I'll be watching closely, because the future is already decided.
All enemies have withdrawn from the battlefield. Attention. Combat systems offline. Requesting that Sky Union close this area. Please wait a moment.
They have withdrawn. I'll entrust you with reporting this matter to Orbital. Though I suspect they'll just cover this up. I do not require your gratitude. No, that's not what I mean to say. Perhaps you could have survived that ordeal on your own. But even so, I still wish to save you. Had I not, I would have relinquished my right to engage in battle with you. Not just as your opponent, but as your ally too. May we meet again on the next battlefield.
That is the closest
Incoming
I've
report
gotten
from
to
Sky
continuity
Union.
so
They
far
have
in this
approved
game.
the closure of this mission area. All records of this incident will be archived. Any reports you file with Orbital will be important material evidence. It is not my place to judge whether you report this incident or not. You are free to do as you like. Return sequence construction completed. Mapping return sequence. Return to base.
They keep saying I'm free to do as I like, but I literally have no agency in this game. I'm straight up just like beholden to whatever mission they give me, which sucks a little bit. Anyway, I am scary. As long as an enemy isn't like hacking speed, I am super strong. But yeah, so if I hadn't spared Savior earlier, he would not have helped me out there. Alright. Last mission of rank B? A colossal immortal in Zen's territory is advancing toward one of their crucial facilities. Contact would result in devastating losses. Team up with other reclaimers to eliminate this threat.
Mission briefing. Briefing will now commence. This mission is an urgent request from Zen. Their surveillance network has detected a colossal immortal. Extrapolating its current path, it appears to be advancing towards one of Zen's crucial facilities. Projections show that ignoring this would result in devastating losses. Your objective is clear. Destroy the immortal. Complete any necessary arsenal preparations, then proceed to the mission area. Briefing over.
Now this is the kind of mission I've been waiting for. Sign me up.
Affirmative. Mission acceptance confirmed. Are you sure it's wise to accept the mission before you've been briefed on it?
Huh? Well, I mean...
Aw, I think 4's worried about you. How's that make you feel, pal?
It makes me feel mad. I killed you.
Knock it off! Bulletworks will accept any mission, especially if we're gonna be fighting Immortals.
Fair enough. 4, could you give us some more info about this mission? You'll listen too, won't you, pal?
God, you're really slowing this down. Fine, I'll listen.
Yesterday, an AI unit operating at a femto excavation site abandoned its programming and disappeared from the site. The unit we've identified matches this missing one, so we're certain it is the same. However, we don't know its current location. We suspect that it's heading for the femto refinery in the same territory.
You suspect? I don't like how that sounds. You're talking about a giant machine that got taken over. Can't you figure out where it is through radar or mass surveillance or something?
This machine is designed for underground excavation.
So you're saying all this moving it's doing is happening underground?
Precisely. We have only been able to relocate this corrupted AI 4 times since its initial disappearance. Judging from those instances where it resurfaced, it is heading directly for the refinery.
How are we supposed to find an underground enemy?
The short-range sensors on your arsenals should detect it once it's within range. As the mission area has been derived from our past observations of its movement speed, immediate action is necessary before it leaves the area.
Haha, sounds fun. I'm in. This is right up the Western 7's alley.
Seriously?
Hey, I'm standing right here. What, you hate my guts or something?
It's not that. It's just that teaming up with the Western 7 for a mission is like sticking a knife in your back to bring to a gunfight.
Fair enough. Sounds like you know what to expect then. Well, I gotta start prepping my arsenal. Y'all keep your backs real safe now. Toodaloo.
Please tell me you're coming too, rookie. I don't want to be left alone with that homicidal maniac. I should start prepping my arsenal too. You and me, we're gonna take down that Immortal.
It's not how that phrase works at all. I know. They were more or less saying it would be like stabbing yourself, then going to a
Approach
gunfight.
complete. You have arrived at the area the target is believed to be moving through. Scanning battlefield. Femto particle density is near 0. Radar will not be affected. All sensors at maximum sensitivity. Data link established. Locate and destroy the corrupted AI.
This is the one, huh? It's a lot slower than the information said.
There is a dense layer of bedrock surrounding the femto refinery. It will take some time for it to dig through it.
It's great and all that it ain't moving that fast, but how's standing around supposed to draw it out?
Processing. Detecting a high energy response beneath the ground. It's...
Whoa! It just came out of nowhere! Look at the size of that thing! It's huge! Keep your distance, everyone!
Man, I thought it was a goner. You're gonna pay for that!
Hitting a target this massive should be pretty easy. I don't know why it decided to show itself, but let's take advantage of that. Begin the mission!
Damage to the target is currently 10%, detecting no changes in its speed. Damage to the target is currently 25%. Your attacks appear to be working.
You went under again? Hold your fire. You're just gonna hit the rubble it kicked up.
This sucks. How long is it gonna stay underground? At this rate, it's gonna reach the refinery.
You're right. That's one.
There you are.
Processing. Detecting the same high-energy response beneath the ground. The corrupted AI has resurfaced.
Resurfaced? Could it have something to do with the bedrock getting denser? Either way, open fire!
Yeah, do not hang out on the ground for this guy. This leads me to believe that I don't think flying was
Went under
originally...
again. I'm getting ticked off here. How are we supposed to attack this thing?
Rookie, is there any way we can keep it above ground? There's gotta be something we can do.
I mean, we can kill it.
Processing. Damage to the target has reached 50%. Destroy it before it reaches the refinery. The corrupted AI's head is the source of the energy response. Attention. The energy response is steadily diminishing.
Rookie, I figured it out. It needs to cool off its drill whenever it comes out of the ground. Aim for its head. Make it overheat.
Ooh, that's a laser.
Damage to the target has reached 75%. Femto response is consistent with core leakage. Maintain your assault.
Eat
Damage
fire.
to the target has reached 90%. Core collapse imminent. Maintain your assault.
Well, it's burning. That's a good sign. Is that it?
Attention. The core of the corrupted AI is self-destructing. Detecting a large outflow of femtoparticles. Energy levels decreasing. The target has stopped. It is incapable of independent locomotion. Mission complete. Mission accomplishment recognized.
So...
Whew. We just managed to squeak by.
Hell yeah, we're getting paid. I can reduce Aya's sentence a little more now.
Huh? Why would your pay affect Aya's sentence?
Cause what's hers is mine, and what's mine is hers. I'm gonna see to it she gets set free.
Whatever you say. Anyway, what was that thing trying to do? I doubt it was interested in femto ore.
Who cares? Let's just go home. My rig's getting dustier the longer we stay here.
Good point. 4. Map a return sequence.
Affirmative. All units return according to the mapped sequence.
So... Cool boss. But... Plot? Oh, here we go.
The Immortals are now corrupting mining and construction equipment, as well as weapons. This is unprecedented. What do you suppose they're after?
We need not trouble ourselves with their objectives. Not when their very existence poses a clear and present danger to humanity. Only when we've destroyed every last Immortal will our mission be complete.
I agree. It's a waste of time. I'm more concerned about grief. What is Terra's planning? Do you know anything, BG?
No. I did ask that Grief join us, though. I was hoping I could make him tell us what he's working toward.
And he just blew you off, huh? Sounds like you two have some history.
What are you implying?
Nothing.
I did not come all this way just to mediate this quarrel brewing before me. How will Bullet Works proceed from here?
That depends on what the Immortals, the Consortiums, and Grief are after. Regardless, we'll put down anyone who tries to needlessly prolong this war.
And the Western Seven?
We deal in death and destruction. No questions asked.
I see. And you would direct it at your Consortium benefactors? Then the Western Seven and Bullet Works are in accord.
Accord? Call it whatever you want. We're just gonna fight like we've been doing.
What about you, Savior?
I have no interest in the Consortiums or Grief. Deal with them as you see fit.
Figured you'd say that.
That being said, should you indeed require my aid, call upon me, and I will not hesitate to lend you my power.
Why the sudden change of heart?
Change of heart? Perhaps so. I have come to know a fascinating mercenary. One whose potential is seemingly without limit, and grows with each passing day.
Ah, you're talking about the rookie. You're not the only one keeping a close eye on him.
Nonsense. If you two want to get yourselves killed selfishly fussing over one mercenary, well, don't ask me to join you. That merc's no different from any of us. We're all pawns in this war.
We're just threads being spun in the tapestry of war, then.
Sure, why not? Doesn't mean I like it, but it is what it is. So are we done here?
For today.
I shall take my leave then.
Still, even spun thread can be cut. Our lives are not as cheap as you believe, Grief.
That was such a pointless cutscene. We learned nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing changed. I'm on what I would consider to be the final chapter of this game, and nothing. We have no villains. We just have the occasional boss that pops out of the ground, sky, whatever, and we're like, oh shit, kill it. And like, then otherwise it's like these weird territory wars and just like vaguing. I'm actually trying to look up a plot synopsis because I want to know if I've missed something. The good news is the game story is about to step on the gas and really get going. Bad news is the car's pointed right at the wall. Okay, narrative in this game is really badly handled. That sucks. Okay. Let's take a moment. I'm not going to play anymore today, otherwise I'm actually just going to get like this is going to get worse. But like let's take that moment that I take whenever I play a game with a dumb plot that I hate, and let's talk about how it could have been really cool and how I could probably have written this better just from my armchair. Let's armchair workshop this plot. So first off, I like the idea of it. The world's cool. Moon gets destroyed. crashes into the planet, so on and so forth. But, like, I'm gonna be honest, these first 4 chapters have been nothing. I think they wanted to have this big, like, kind of branching narrative that, like, would have multiple outcomes depending on who you decide to choose, decide who to, like, work for and whatnot. And, you know, really have things change depending. But the problem is, that doesn't work with this kind of game, because they didn't do it. So they kept all of that narrative and writing as though you had some kind of choice. And you can even see it with the Grief and the Empress thing, where it's like, you know, fight me if you think you have to. And then I immediately start getting shot, and it's like, wait a second, no, I would have just hung out. Like, give me some of that data. I'm this, like, wildcard character that supposedly, like, you know, everybody respects, and yet nobody treats me with any level of, like, dignity beyond just savior coming to save me once. This is beyond the search for plot to Electric Boogaloo. I found the plot, and I found it empty. It's hollow. It's lacking. Maybe over the next 13 missions, it'll get better, or at least more interesting or something. But, like, I'm just gonna say right now, whatever happens, I feel like it could have been done better. Let's just rewrite right here. 1. Keep more or less everything. We're on a planet, in a dome, AIs are coming in, shit's bad. There's 3 companies that are fighting for control within, and that sucks because everybody should be united, but they're not. There's also 4 companies, 5 companies, each with their own kind of, like, weird bit that makes them kind of odd and wrong. You got the prisoner faction, who effectively will do whatever the corporations say no matter what, because they don't have a choice. You've got the Immortal Innocence people, who are super secretive, and they seem really sketchy and maybe even villainous. But, like, you have to, like, kind of eventually find out, oh, they're actually just not bad. They just don't want you to get near their creepy tower that's keeping them alive forever. And then you've got I know they're not the Gun Lords or the Bullet Hounds. They're the Bullet something or others, and for whatever reason, I can never remember their names. Holy shit, there's like 7 factions now that I'm thinking about it. They really needed to just nail that down to like 3 corporations, 5 mercenary groups tops. Bulletworks, there we go. What kind of dumb name is that? Bulletworks makes way more sense if they're an arm manufacturer. But, whatever. Okay. Anyway, have it be, first 5 hours of the game, really intense plot, you are fighting your ass off to save humanity, except for the last hour is kind of the reveal that everybody is not actually working. Like, the invading AIs are a joke. They're not, like, no one's taking them seriously except for some of the low-level mercs. You get up to BG and Grief and whatnot, and they're just, you know, kind of like, whatever, this is fine. Problem is, the invading AIs are actually super serious, and oh boy, there's a lot more of them than everybody's giving credit for. And meanwhile, while you guys are effectively fighting and dying, yeah, it's a game show you didn't even know you were on. Yeah, effectively, the higher-ups are just using you as a pawn to kind of try and take control. So the 11th hour of the first act is effectively the corporations screw you over. And second chapter is you kind of figuring out which corporations are good, which ones are bad, and eventually Orbital has to step in and effectively smack them down, because all 3 of them have started to make... I mean, remember that plane that very clearly had guns and shit? That, like, was supposed to be a carrier, but instead turned into some kind of flying dragon thing? Like, you absolutely could have had it that the 3 corporations were planning on even replacing Orbital. And so, yeah, end of Act 1 is them trying to depose Orbital instead. And so you specifically have to get in there and fight them and knock them down hard. And you knock them down hard, things go back to status quo, but the AI has been emboldened, they've gotten stronger. You really are starting to struggle. Maybe even the map shows this, that the oval barrier has been drastically reduced as a result of the infighting, and people just can't hold the line anymore. And resources are bad, and maybe even the three corporations are just merged down into one. And that's the beginning of Act 2. Act 2 keeps going, and you have to, like, figure out how to fight. That's when Solomon comes back, and you realize that not only are AIs being corrupted, but maybe even past pilots and whatnot are being corrupted as well, and that there's this whole legion of ex-mercenaries turned crazy cyborg robots that are kind of leading the whole charge. And you have to really struggle against these guys because, oh shit, they outnumber us, they outskill us, and they've got a bunch of lost tech that we don't even have. And so you have to, like, start grabbing a bunch of things. And, you know, you're effectively becoming the thing that you were fighting. Even, I mean, look at my character. I've replaced a bunch of limbs and stuff. You could have some kind of crazy transhumanism thing where the main character is even effectively, even, like, takes the Solomon's pilot's arm or leg or a piece of his head or something and incorporates it into his own design, and you're like, oh god, you know, this guy is going so far to save humanity that he is willing to become this bad thing. And maybe there's even some back and forth there internally. Maybe you even have one mission that's your character just going insane and fighting Solomon on foot, but mecha style, as like a weird dream sequence, because why not? Who gives a shit? I don't know, but just have it be really anime for a while. And then you've managed to push the AIs back a bunch, except for then you realize it's all freaking pointless because the whole goddamn thing's a simulation by one of these AIs that's effectively just dicking with you the entire game, and you have to effectively pull a matrix, pop yourself out of it with your mech somehow by 3D printing yourself into reality and killing the shit out of it. It's not a better plot, but, like, that'd be so hype. I don't know where the rest of this is gonna go. But, like, that's kind of where I was hoping we'd end up with. And, yeah, I'm sure it's not a good plot. I'm not sure if I go with the sim twist. The problem is they hinted that there was the sim twist in this game. They had at least a couple of overtures implying that that might actually be a thing. Between every chapter, they would actually have grief implying that everybody is fake. Zen even did this, that there's some kind of overarching truth that nobody knows and blah 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 blah. And so, like, the idea of 3D printing myself to, you know, wreck shit would be really cool. I don't know. I had high hopes for this plot, and it's not that it's not that I've been disappointed by it. It's that it's just not here. Like, even that last cutscene that we just had was just kind of it was just status quo. And it sucks, because I actually really do enjoy this game, but it's kind of one of those where I'm just sitting here being like, so plot. And unlike Atelier Ryza, where I eventually got there, this didn't give itself enough room, and we have Umbral in chat actually talking about this. I saw a post on Reddit explaining what's actually going on. Actual plot's pretty interesting, but they bungled the delivery. And that's my problem. 13 missions, plus, you know, presuming an ending cutscene of some variety. Like, unless you went full Kojima and had 2-hour-long cutscenes to explain everything on the 11th hour, like, that would maybe be able to make it work. But yeah, I don't... Yeah, the fun part is you haven't hit the part where the actual plot is revealed. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to this on Sunday and finishing this game and seeing where it takes us. But, like, boy, admittedly, I've only put X number of hours into this game. If this is a longer game, I think it would work. Have I only been playing this for 7 hours? Holy shit. And admittedly, some amount of that was me just solo grinding earlier today. I'm not sure even Kojima is Kojima enough to pull that off. And Kojima could make it work. Kojima could have made Metal Gear Survive interesting if he had been in charge of that. I don't know if anybody could have saved Left Alive, though. That was one of the other games last year that I was really excited for that just turned into an absolute trap. I assume they've never patched that game. Do I own it? No, I never bought it. I was considering buying it for like $5, but nobody could have saved Survived. Weird part is, I've actually heard it's pretty fun if you can separate yourself out of there. Like, I might straight up play Metal Gear Survive someday. Just to say that I did. I'll try and, I don't know, Shanghai somebody into playing it with me. The issue is that anime cliches got prioritized over story. Anime cliches, too many characters, and just a lot of, like, posturing for no good reason. What they should have done truly was just had a bunch of meaningless free missions and then, like, a very tight core story couple of missions that are actually, like, you know, progressive difficulty and really interesting. Because as it stood, like, they really could have just had a bunch of free missions there where you load it up, you just fight mechs, but two characters would show up and just talk for a while about plot and lore and backstory and stuff. More or less exactly what's been happening in this game. Yeah, too many characters is a common thing. Like, hell, do you even know Bonebox's deal? Do you know if he even has one? Do you even remember him until I brought him up? I remember Bonebox. I didn't realize that Sif had a sibling that wasn't just a recolor random stand-in character because you killed Sif. Like, Sif and Ire, I thought they were just the same person and they got lazy with the translation or something. Sif doesn't have a sister. She has multiple personalities. That would make sense, and I can't tell if you're joking. Because they look the same. I don't know if their arsenal's the same. You are not joking. Okay, cool. Why is that a relevant detail, and why have I never learned that? And if I do learn it later, why the hell was it even in the game? Because it seems so freaking pointless. It's in the partner description. Okay, I got it. I mean, I guess that's cool, but I don't know. That's like Bonebox or Falcon. Who the shit is Falcon? Why does Falcon matter? Why does Falcon exist? Why is there Reaper and Nameless? Why is Nameless's name Nameless? What about the two brothers? Fuck, god, that bat. I'm going to ruminate on this. And we'll come back to this on Sunday. I gotta go do some D&D assets.